Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đã trở lại với Overtime, một chương trình chuyên biệt về bóng rổ VBA 2017. Và ngày hôm nay, khách mời của chúng ta vẫn như thường lệ là huấn luyện viên Dante Hill, huấn luyện viên trưởng của đội bóng Đà Nẵng Dragons. Và người kế bên ông là một vị khách rất đặc biệt, một crazy fan của đội bóng Cantho Catfish, anh Trần Minh Phương.
Chào các bạn.
Anh là một rapper đến từ ban nhạc Đà Lạt, một ban nhạc nhạc rap rất nổi tiếng ở Hà Nội cũng như là ở Việt Nam chúng ta. Và anh cũng là, như tôi vừa giới thiệu, là một fan rất cuồng nhiệt của Cantho Catfish. Và ngày hôm nay chủ đề chúng ta nói đến cũng là đội bóng này, đội bóng quốc dân Cantho Catfish.
Question: How did you become a fan of Cantho Catfish?
Initially, I don't know anything about them, and initially I went to the game for Thăng Long. Yeah, and I saw the people of Cantho. They really enjoy playing.
Wow.
And they warmly welcome the fan. Yeah, interactive, very kind.
Nice.
And, yeah, and you know, the first time I took a photo with them, and the second time I met him, he recognized me.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And after that, the more I get to know the people of Cantho, and we like became friends.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, they even invite us join their training session.
Wow.
So you love Cantho Catfish because of the player or the way they play?
Firstly, it was because I really love the people and their atmosphere, their team chemistry. It's really amazing.
Wow.
In comparison with other teams.
I feel bad. Just playing. But I think that's a message that everybody needs to understand, how important it is for players to connect to the fans and give the fans a chance to see who they are. So fans become family. You know, and that's the beautiful thing. Fans become friends, then become family. So it's exciting to see how your passion for Cantho has grown, and now you've become one of their major fans.
Yeah, I was there in the final game 4.
Nice.
And even they lost the game. Many fans they stay to cheer up the team. Yeah. They because the team they had a meeting very long. All the fans they stay up very late and wait for the player to come out.
Wow. It's amazing and outstanding. So, what about you? So, what do you think about Cantho Catfish? So, the Vietnamese fans calling the team is citizen team.
Citizen team?
Yeah.
I think the fans in Cantho are amazing. I think basketball in Cantho, the region is really good. You know, in that area, there's a lot of good basketball players in South Tran and in that whole Mount Pine Delta area. So I think that Cantho is doing an amazing job. I think the colors are pretty clever and colorful. It's hard to miss out on green and yellow. And I think that they've done a good job connecting with the community, getting into the community. But then we talk about their players. I think Tam Ding is a model basketball player. I mean, how he plays. I mean, he's obviously one of the best heritage players in this league. Over the last 2 years, SEA Games, he showcased that he can do that on an international stage. I mean, obviously, coming from the States, he's played well his whole life. So for him, he is the face of Cantho Catfish. When I see Cantho Catfish, I see Tam Ding. And his play and his performances and his excitement, his passion, you can tell how focused he is every time he gets on the court. He's just so focused. And you know, the great thing about him is his teammates love him. You can see that leadership. You can see that even though he's as prolific of a scorer that he is, you can see that he passes. His teammates are involved. It's not just the Tam Ding show. It's the Cantho Catfish show. But he just happens to be the leading actor in that.
So, but this season, the Stumbling is very well in the start of the season. But in the second half of the season, it's not good at Stumbling. In my opinion, Sang have very impressive season.
Wow, Sang Ding has just improved dramatically from year 1 to year 2. He is a completely different player. I mean, he averaged 8 points a game last year, and he went up to 14 points this year. So that point difference. Then, I mean, his turnovers went down, his rebounds went up. So a lot of things that in a plus-minus standpoint improve for Sangding, but I think his attitude improved. I think he came in, he didn't know what to expect last year. He didn't know how to adjust to the culture and the referees and just the physicality of the VBA. So I think it was a lot for him last year. And then this year, he came in, they drafted him, and he showed why he was drafted. He was a different player. He continued to have the defensive intensity, but his offensive production. And he was a good teammate. You could see he was excited. He was passionate. He was growing as a leader. And it's amazing the chances of being able to play with your big brother in professional sports. So he has his brother to be that model for him on a day-to-day basis. And you can tell his brother loves him. You can tell they have a good relationship on the court and off the court. So he trusts his brother. And so if his brother says something, he responded very well to that. And it was just a growing experience for him. And just his improvement was outstanding. And he's one of the reasons why they made the run that they did getting into the finals.
Tôi thấy nhiều người nói là Sang Đinh cố gắng vượt ra khỏi cái bóng của Tâm Đinh, nhưng qua những gì tôi thấy thì Sang chơi và có những trận là chính là người lĩnh xướng cái hàng tấn công của Cần Thơ và là những cầu thủ trên sân ghi nhiều điểm nhất hoặc là nhì sau Hamilton, và cái đóng góp của anh cũng, theo cảm nhận của tôi cũng rất là lớn cả trên cái mặt trận phòng ngự. Anh là một người phòng ngự rất là nhiệt tình và theo rất là sát cầu thủ đối phương, và cái đóng góp về tinh thần của Sang Đinh cũng rất là lớn. Cũng là một người hay có các màn chat talk với cả cầu thủ đối phương cũng như là động viên các đồng đội tiến lên.
So in the film, talk about the chat talk of the Sangding. So I think Sangding need to concentrate on the game.
Yes.
Yes. So he no need to complain the players
yes.
referee, right?
Yeah, he grew so much. Last year he had a lot of outbursts. A lot of times in the game when the call didn't go his way or a substitution didn't go his way, he kind of broke down mentally. He wasn't mentally fit last year, but this year he matured so much more. And you can tell when he started to trust Coach Kevin Yerkes after the course of the game. Kevin Yerkes didn't start him for the first 3 games, and then he became a starting member. But even in fact he didn't start, he earned that starting position. And when he got into that position, he didn't let it go. And that's because his attitude was right, his play was outstanding, and his team chemistry was amazing as well too. So what he did, he took advantage of the opportunity and created more success for himself. So I mean, hats off to him on an amazing year. I know they fell short, but his play going into year 3 should be outstanding.
Hai cầu thủ Heritage Việt Kiều của Cantho Catfish đều là những con người rất tuyệt vời. Và tất nhiên chúng ta cũng phải nói đến một vị trí khác, đó là vị trí import. Và nếu mà nói về sự thay đổi thì Cantho Catfish mới là đội bóng có sự thay đổi nhân sự đầu tiên. Khi mà Khalil Brown là cầu thủ đầu tiên của Cantho Catfish được pick ở vị trí trung phong, và anh đã không thể thích nghi được với văn hóa và cuộc sống ở Việt Nam, và anh đã phải thay thế bằng D'Angelo Hamilton. Và sự thay thế này phải chăng đây là một điều may mắn với Cantho Catfish cũng như những người hâm mộ đội bóng?
Tôi có biết cái câu chuyện đằng sau việc Hamilton đến chơi cho Cần Thơ, và nó khá là nhiều cái sự tình cờ, và tôi nghĩ đó là một sự may mắn cho đội bóng. Sau này khi mà có tìm hiểu và biết được cái câu chuyện và cũng như cái background của Hamilton thì tôi biết là cầu thủ này có cái nền tảng rất là tốt, và có thể nói là anh đã từng có rất là nhiều cái cơ hội để có thể được chơi ở cái trình độ bóng rổ nhà nghề ở Mỹ. Tuy nhiên là có một số chuyện xảy ra và anh chưa thể đạt được cái điều đó, thì việc Cần Thơ có một cái cầu thủ đẳng cấp như vậy là một điều rất là may mắn cho họ, và các cái con số cũng như là thực tế trên sân đã thể hiện cái điều đó. Họ rất may mắn khi có một cái trụ cột Hamilton trên sân.
We talk about the import of Cantho Catfish. So Tâm Đinh and Sangding couldn't play well without D'Angelo Hamilton.
I think D'Angelo Hamilton was the glue to the team. You think about the level of experience that he has playing in high-level college basketball in Washington with Klay Thompson. Playing on the national team in America is a big deal. At a under-19 standpoint. Then he's played in Korea. He's played in Japan. I mean, this guy has played in so many different places, and he's performed well every place he's played. So him coming into the Cantho Catfish organization, he brought something that no other import really brought in this league. He brought a certain level of just quiet confidence. He let his teammates know, I have your back. Don't matter if they got beat on the defensive side, he was there to help them. And he didn't complain about it. And so what happened is those guys worked harder.
D'Angelo Hamilton picked it up and told him, hey, you just do your best you can, and I'll support you, and I'll have your back. And his leadership in that locker room, you can tell that obviously his relationship with Coach Kevin Yerkes was amazing, but his relationship with Sang Ding was amazing. I think that was another reason why Sang Ding grew so much as a basketball player, because he had someone like D'Angelo Hamilton to talk to bounce things off of, to communicate about, hey, what do I do in this situation? How do I perform in this situation? And he knew D'Angelo Hamilton had his support and had his back in anything he was going through. D'Angelo Hamilton, his impact from an import standpoint, I think was the biggest and most impactful over the course of the year. Now, and that says a lot, because Rudy is a powerful player, Jaywan Hill is a powerful player, Darius Lewis is a powerful player, Bilal Richardson was a great player in this league, but D'Angelo Hamilton's impact, his ability to take a team that really struggled last year, came in, and same group of guys, but his impact, defensive intensity, blocking shots. Look at the numbers. They were #1 in rebounding.
But I think the most important thing from D'Angelo Hamilton is he have a rest 3 or 4 assists per game.
Yes. Well, look at what he can do. He's so versatile. He's the only guy that could guard any import in the league, but also he had the versatility to dribble, to half court and break down shot. He can shoot the three-pointer. He could get to the basket. But what set him apart was his defense. I mean, he had his team #1 in rebounds. They were #1 in steals. They were #1 in block shots. #1 in points off turnovers. And they were #1 in fast break points. So a lot of times the steals that they gotten led to fast break points. The block shots that he made led to fast break points. The rebounds that he created led to fast break points. And so they were an exciting team to watch this year. I mean, I love the pace that they played. And you think about it, they averaged more points than any other team in this league. They were #1 in points per game because they played an up-tempo style of play. But D'Angelo Hamilton had the stamina to be able to play at that high level. Again, I like Rudy, I like Richardson, I like Lewis. But D'Angelo Hamilton had the stamina to be able to play up and down for 40 minutes. You never seen him get tired. You never seen him bend over and get frustrated. He didn't get any technical fouls. I mean, he was a model citizen. He was a model basketball player for the Cantho Catfish. And, we hope that we can bring him back to the league next year. But the chances are it's going to be tough because he's such a special and dynamic player that we might have seen some of his best basketball here, and he may be going on to bigger and faster.
So many people want him in.
I can imagine. It was just amazing what he could do in the impact of culture. When we talk about the culture of the team, you can see his presence all throughout that.
Như huấn luyện viên Cantho Hill vừa có nói về D'Angelo Hamilton thì tôi và Phương nghe thì ông đánh giá đây là một cầu thủ tương đối hoàn hảo, hoàn thiện về cả ném 3 điểm, về handle, về mọi mặt. Tuy nhiên, vấn đề ở chỗ là ở một trận đấu ở một vị trí trung phong như D'Angelo Hamilton thì anh trung bình có một trận từ 3 đến 4 tình huống kiến tạo một trận. Thì theo Phương thì nghĩ là anh ấy có nên một chút cá nhân hơn một chút không để mang về một thành tích tốt hơn cho Cantho Catfish hoặc là một vài tình huống?
Tôi sẽ không nói trên cái cạnh chuyên môn nhiều, mà tôi sẽ tập trung vào cái cảm nhận của tôi khi mà xem cả đội đó thi đấu. Tôi cảm thấy là mọi cái yếu tố ở đội Cần Thơ hiện nay đang ở cái mức độ rất là cân bằng với nhau. Có thể tôi lo ngại là nếu như Hamilton trở nên ích kỷ hơn một chút, tập trung kiếm cho mình những cái điểm số thì cái sự cân bằng đó đã mất. Tôi có nói chuyện với các cầu thủ Cần Thơ, tức là khi mà họ triển khai tấn công ấy, thì họ có một cái nguyên tắc là cầu thủ nào open nhất hoặc là gần rổ nhất sẽ là người dứt điểm, không nhất định phải là một cái vị trí nào trên sân. Họ rất cố gắng để thực hiện cái điều này và làm sao để tạo ra một cái tình huống ngon ăn nhất cho cầu thủ trên sân dứt điểm.
I think the big thing with D'Angelo Hamilton, what separates him is that he didn't need to prove anything. His goal wasn't to see how many points he could score. His goal wasn't to see how many rebounds he could accomplish. His goal wasn't to become the best, necessarily most impactful player. His goal was to be the best teammate And that is why he was successful in the course of the season. He didn't care. He didn't care if he had 30 points. He didn't care if he had 20 points. He didn't care if he had 10 points. All he focused on was winning. And that's why he made sure he took care of the defensive side of things. He said, hey, you know what? I got Tam, who's an amazing scorer. Sang Ding is an up-and-coming scorer. 65, knockdown shooter. 52, knock down some shots. We have the players in place. I'm going to do the small things that make us win. And he said, I'll take a back seat. I don't have to score 20. I don't have to score 25. What I'll do is I'll get 15 rebounds and I'll get 5 block shots and I'll help my teammates win. And I'll pass the ball a lot more. So what he did, which is rare in international basketball for an import, in my experience, is he said, it's not about me. It's about we. It's about the team. It's about everybody else. Because some players, I'll tell you, if you don't give them the basketball as an import, they may be a little frustrated. But not Hamilton. He didn't need the basketball. He said, you know, I don't have the basketball. I'll go get a rebound. I'll get a block shot. So he didn't look at just impacting the game from a scoring place. He looked at impacting the game holistically, all around.
In the tactic of Cantho Catfish, we can see the 3 practice of formation. 3-on-3 from Tom Ding, Sang Ding, and D'Angelo Hamilton.
Yes.
And the right side is Hamilton and Liu Tang, number 65. Right?
And they play well. I mean,
Yeah.
they did some amazing things. I think 65, he was one of the key players for local MVP, in my opinion. His performance this year, I mean, he had some big games. He made some big shots. He wasn't even a natural point guard, but he took on that responsibility to play the point guard position, and he took great pride and responsibility in doing it. And he grew so much. I mean, he's the reason why they got to the championship. You think about it. Cantho had a lot of adversity early on in the year, you know, practice court and things of that nature. But his commitment and focus really kept the team stable. And, I mean, hats off to him for his performance this season.
He even the captain of the team, the number 65.
Wow. So did you interact with him at all? How was your interaction with him? Did he have that same presence in person?
Yeah. Initially, I get interactive with Tom and Sang, and later Liu Tang came in, and he was very kind.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, he's the bridge that kept the bridge us with the other guy in the team.
Nice.
Yes. He's like the second ambassador of the team.
Awesome. And see, look at that. You know, here you got a guy he's the bridge. He's the bridge between the fan and the player. He's the bridge between the local and the import. He's the bridge. He's the bridge between the local, the import to the heritage player.
Yeah.
He's the bridge, probably the bridge. He's the bridge from the coach Kevin Yerkes to the basketball court. His role this year was outstanding. His impact on the game was amazing. He's the reason, one of the key reasons why they had such an amazing run. And again, hats off to his performance this year. Outstanding.
So about your opinion about the bridge between heritage local players and also, so what the roles of Kevin Yerkes in these situations?
Well, I think Kevin Yerkes did an amazing job this year. That's the reason why they were the 3rd ranked team, and then they made it to the semifinals. I mean, or made it to the finals and just lost and came up short. He created a good culture. You can tell that he really enjoys Cantho. He really enjoys the community there. He really enjoys the fans there. He enjoys his players. You can tell that he built a relationship, and he changed a style and a system of play. You know, normally he's a little more precise on certain things, but he kept it free. He wanted to play up-tempo. He wanted to play fast because you have guys like Sang and Tam and 65 to be able to run down the lane and make plays, and D'Angelo Hamilton can start the break. So what he did from a culture standpoint, he established a fun, exciting brand of basketball. It was an exciting style of basketball. So you have to score points to keep up with him. But what he did was he let the guys have fun. They had some adversity early, but he stayed positive. He didn't get negative. He stayed positive toward the course of the year. And honestly, he's one of the most liked coaches in this league. And by his performance this year and my interactions with him, I can see why he's one of the most liked coaches.
Qua tiếp xúc với các cầu thủ, tôi còn biết được một câu chuyện, tức là Hiếu Thành rất là biết ơn ông Kevin Yerkes trong cái việc mà đã tạo ra cho bạn ấy một cái không gian để phát triển, cũng như và thực tế mùa giải này bạn ấy đã chứng minh được mình rất là nhiều. Cái câu chuyện là khi mà Hiếu Thành đến với Cantho Catfish thì bạn ấy làm một cái món hàng đính kèm với Jimmy Ngan. Khi Cần Thơ muốn ký với An thì sẽ phải ký cùng lúc với hai cầu thủ là An và Hiếu Thành. Thì khi đó Hiếu Thành đến Cần Thơ không ai biết bạn đó là ai, trình độ thế nào, và khi ở Cần Thơ bạn ấy đã trưởng thành rất nhiều và trở thành cầu nối giữa các cầu thủ trong cả hệ thống, và bạn ấy đã trở thành đội trưởng trên sân của Cần Thơ.
So a lot of good things from Cantho Catfish, but now we talk about the bad thing.
Yes.
One of the worst thing, and they have is to play in the final game fives. It's a foul game. Right?
Yes. I mean, that's when it comes down to your bench performance, and that's something that they did. They were third in bench points at 13.76 per game, and now when you get to the playoffs, that's when your bench has to really step up. And I think that the fact that Tam Ding has slowed down through the course of the year, it gave some other guys more playing time, more experience, and more opportunities to showcase. Because at one point, he was averaging 25, 23 points a game, and so now he's finished the season at 18 because he started slowing down offensively, but the team got better. 65 started making shots. They had some young talents starting to grow and to develop. So, again, it comes down to the bench. The bench has to perform. Even if somebody early on, Sang Ding was starting, didn't go to the bench. Even if you have to go to the bench and become a player off the bench, sometimes a team has to do that. Sometimes your best player can't be in your starting five. Sometimes one of your best players has to be on the bench to give you that extra lift, like a Manu Ginobili does for the San Antonio Spurs. They needed somebody like that. They could come in and give them some input offensively or defensively or just energy off the bench. They had some good guys that could handle the basketball, but they needed some offense off of that bench. If they could have more offense, they would have been more successful in the final game of the championship.
Yeah. But many people say that in the playoffs, the most important player of Cantho Catfish is 52. What do you think?
I like his game. He's so versatile. He's strong enough. He boxes out. He can shoot it. He gets to the basket. He's a very versatile player, and he plays hard.
Yeah, he's very calm also.
Yeah, he plays, and he's calm. He plays hard. He's passionate. He's focused in. So I like what he does in the course of the game. And you could tell that the teammates trusted him when he was on the court. And I think what they did was Vin, number 12, getting that experience, growing as a basketball player, his height, his length. Oh, my goodness. What can become from him in the next year or two in this league is going to be outstanding because he's already tall. And now he's getting more coordination and getting a better feel for the game. So it was amazing that's the thing that Coach Kevin Yerkes did. He trusted those guys. He gave those guys playing time. A lot of times, coaches don't develop their players because they're trying to win basketball games. They only play the guys that they trust. They play 5, they may play 6, they may play 7. But they're not going to go past to the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guy. So what he did was early on, I'm going to play these guys, give them some experience, give them some motivation, and then it'll relate more in time of practice and preparation for the next game. So, again, I like 52. He played outstanding, and I like number 12, Vin. I think the future is bright for him as well.
Yeah, Mr. Kevin told me that Vin practice with D'Angelo every day.
Wow.
One-on-one for the center position. And Kevin told me that he believes that Ving will be the future Vietnam basketball.
I mean, I agree. I mean, that level of height, that level of length on the basketball court in Vietnam, I mean, his family is an athletic family, so he has that in his genes, volleyball, so he knows how to jump and explode. It's just a matter of him growing into that tall frame and knowing how to utilize that on the basketball court. But the future's bright for the young stars of VBA. I mean, the future, in the next 5 years, I see VBA, players like from Cantho, players from Hanoi, players from all of these cities, I see players growing, developing, and really showcasing on a national and international stage. And I believe, like as Coach Kevin Yerkes said, I believe he's going to be a major piece to that puzzle because of his length and athleticism. I got a question for you. From a hip-hop standpoint, do you think Cantho is the most hip-hop-based team in the VBA?
They already dance before.
Yeah, they huddle, they get together, they have that kind of swagger, that kind of energy. So I'm thinking from a musical standpoint, they're the team that kind of represents hip hop in the VBA.
Let me tell you something. Firstly, Angelo Hamilton, DJ Angelo Hamilton, he makes music
Wow. Okay. Okay.
He left too. He left.
Okay. Okay.
Allison
He,
Ross.
Okay.
he has some good vibes
Oh, nice.
on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sang Ding, he can do some freestyle.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's some trivial thing, but on the court, I can feel their rhythm.
That's good. And I think it's a more of a hip hop style of basketball. When you look at Cantho and just, I can see why you connected with that group because they play very hip hop style of basketball where it's not a jazz like the Nang Dragons team or it's not a symphony like or more like country music probably for Hanoi Buffaloes. But I mean, they play that style of basketball, so I can see why they connect. And you can tell like everybody kind of buys into that culture, and they have that flair, they have that flavor, they have that personality. And again, I can see why you became a major fan, and it makes sense. It makes sense.
Các cầu thủ Cantho Catfish là đội bóng top 1 về số điểm ghi được trong một trận đấu. Mỗi trận đấu họ ghi được trung bình gần 80 điểm. Và họ thi đấu đúng như những gì họ thể hiện là họ thi đấu rất nhanh, vì vậy họ sẽ có thêm nhiều thời gian hơn để thực hiện những tình huống ghi điểm. Vậy thì theo anh nghĩ thì họ có nên giảm nhịp trận đấu lại và tập trung nhiều hơn nữa về mặt phòng ngự thì họ sẽ đạt thành công cao hơn ở VBA không?
Cần Thơ là đội mà có cái số điểm trong mỗi trận đấu trung bình nhiều nhất giải vừa rồi, và thực sự là khi xem họ thi đấu thì những fan của Cantho Catfish như tôi thấy cực kỳ sung sướng, liên tục. Cái cảm giác phấn khích nó liên tục được build up, chất chồng sau mỗi cái tình huống tấn công, và tôi nghĩ đó là một trong những yếu tố mà tạo nên cái màu sắc riêng của Cần Thơ trong mùa giải năm nay. Thì cũng đúng thôi, trong nhiều trận đấu thì cái nhịp độ của họ tấn công rất nhanh, và chúng ta có thể thấy là có thể cảm nhận phần nào có thể đến phần cuối của trận đấu thì cái khả năng duy trì cái năng lượng, cái sự thể lực sung mãn của họ có phần giảm sút, và có lẽ đấy cũng là một trong các yếu tố dẫn đến những thất bại như trong game 5 vừa rồi, khi mà họ đã quá bùng nổ ở hiệp thi đấu thứ nhất và hiệp thi đấu thứ hai, và xong đến hiệp 4 thì họ bị Thăng Long Warrior dồn ép và đã không thể trụ nổi, khi mà một phần thể lực bị suy giảm và một phần do hai cầu thủ trụ cột với một lỗi cá nhân và không thể phòng ngự hiệu quả.
So the last question for Coach Donte Hills. If you have a right to change a thing in Cantho Catfish next season, what will you do?
Wow, that's a good question actually. If I could change one thing in Cantho Catfish culture is that just to get them off to a better start. I think they had to go through some adversity early with practice facilities. I think, getting them more acclimated to the community earlier, as far as just establishing that relationship with the federation there, establishing that relationship with the fans there, and getting everybody on the same page. Because what happens sometimes in the VBA, sometimes people think that VBA is trying to take something away. No, we're trying to build, we're trying to add, we're trying to grow basketball across the board. We need the local community to be a part of the VBA because that's what makes the VBA so beautiful and so strong and so much potential. And if I'm Cantho, I want to start early and build that relationship with the community so they understand where we're coming from. And I would say that for every team in the league. Let's start and build the community, build the fans. We want to win basketball games. Yeah. That's everybody wants to do that. But if we don't win the community, we're not winning. So again, for Cantho, that's what I'll focus on. As far as basketball, I would just continue to grow Sang Ding, keep him performing at a higher level, and then also add in some local players that are young and more up tempo.
Đúng như huấn luyện viên Donte Hill nói, sự kết nối giữa tất cả mọi thứ trong bóng rổ là điều rất quan trọng, từ những cầu thủ, những người hâm mộ và huấn luyện viên. Và điều đó gần như năm nay chúng ta đã thấy được đôi chút phần nào đến từ đội bóng Cantho Catfish, một đội bóng mà chúng ta vẫn được gọi là đội bóng quốc dân. Và một lần nữa xin cảm ơn huấn luyện viên Donte Hill. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Và cảm ơn rapper Trần Minh Phương, người đã sáng tác bài hát của VBA, bài hát chung kết Finals. Và có lẽ chúng ta cũng đã đến lúc phải nói lời chia tay. Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi chương trình và hẹn gặp lại các bạn tại Overtime lần sau. Xin chào các bạn.
Xin chào.